What's up, everybody? It's Danny Green here, back with more Inside the Green Room. My co-host Harrison Sanford, brought to you by Jack in the Box. And I want to give a big shout out to the LA Dodgers for giving us another reason to celebrate something in 2020.
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrations going on. Unfortunately, they're happening in a pandemic, so we hope that everybody is safe. Danny, you're doing it again. You're not mentioning that you're a three-time champ. It's Inside the Green Room with three-time champ Danny Green.
It's not important right now. We're talking about the Dodgers. The Dodgers. I said 2020 started out rough, but it's finishing a little bit better, especially for LA. It's an LA year. But yeah, big shout out to them, the Dodgers. Obviously, we had my guy Red Turn. My guy, I did an event with him earlier. We had Ross Stripling
who's with
on.
The team. Yeah.
We got a chance to talk with him. Did his podcast recently. So yeah, big shout out to those guys, man. I'm happy for them. Proud of them. I'm glad that the city has something to celebrate, something else to celebrate, considering the fact that we've had so many losses this year and so much going on throughout the year.
Now that you mentioned Ross Stripling, though, so Ross was with the team, with the Dodgers, and then got traded mid-season.
To Toronto.
To Toronto, ended up in one of our favorite cities.
Yeah.
That makes me think of players like DeMarcus Cousins, Troy Daniels, guys who were on the roster, who weren't on the roster by the end of the bubble. Obviously, Avery Bradley's going to get his ring. He played a larger part of the season. Have you heard anything about?
I have not.
Those guys getting rings?
I do not know. I know in baseball is different. I know in football is different. From my understanding, he told me when I talked to Ross that if you take a swing or throw a pitch in any type of game of theirs and you're part of that team, you will get a ring.
Oh, I'm referring to DeMarcus.
But with basketball, with us, I've seen guys get rings that have been on a team for 2 weeks. I've seen guys that have been there half a season not get rings. So I don't know how it's going to go. That's ultimately up to, I guess, the captains and the front office and the organization of how they want to do that. But I'm all for guys that were a part of this team getting rings. DeMarcus was there rehabbing all year. The only time he wasn't there was in the bubble. But Troy was with us most of the year, all year. They also did well in Denver. And so the guys that have been on the roster and with us on our team, I think they all deserve opportunity to get a ring because they were a part of the team.
Speaking of it being a decision for some of the franchise, we are going to speak with Rob Pelinka after this opening segment, and he'll address a number of issues, talk about being in the bubble, a little bit on this upcoming season that we might have that might start December 22nd, and a myriad of other Laker-related topics, so stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, your thoughts on a potential December 22nd start of the season?
I've given my thoughts before. I'm not going to give too much more. Anytime I say something, it's taken out of context. And I said I'm pretty disappointed in the people that just read the quote and not seeing the tone of the quote.
Yeah.
I was obviously saying in a sarcastic voice and a joking voice.
So you will show up for work?
We always show up for work. I'm not speaking on or for anybody, but I was just joking saying, certain guys, not just LeBron, but I was saying we have a lot of vets on our team. And we prefer not to start December 22nd.
Yeah.
We do have Doe, who's been in the league for 14 years. Dwight's been there 15, 16 years. JaVale's been there for a long time, 13 years. We have a lot of guys, 8+ years, 10+ years on our team and have been vets. And to do a long season that we've had, regardless of how many months we had off in between, we still finished at the date. And to start up a month and a half later or 2 months later is tough. But we will show up for work, so I'm going to take it out of context.
Tell them how you feel.
And I speak no more on it, but we hope that we get a little more time to relax and rest and give our bodies a chance to recover before we start back up again.
You're an elder statesman in the league, though, so you understand the reasoning why for December 22nd. A report.
Oh, for sure. I knew that beforehand. They gave us that date early. So I already, before the bubble even started, we got into the bubble. They gave us that date. Like, all right, we might have, I said, that's a quick turnaround for the teams that win. Obviously hoping that we win, but not knowing and going through it at that point, how our bodies and minds would feel. But I was like, it's a quick turnaround. We'll get ready, to go back right away. And I said, if that happens, if we win, we'll probably have to take the whole offseason off and not do anything until training camp. Most guys will. And even in training camp, we'll probably do some light stuff. And then afterwards, throughout the bubble and toward the end of the bubble, they're like, you know what, we're looking at a late January start. I'm like, all right, because that gave us some hope to have a little breath of fresh air as we were still winning and going on, that we'd have a little longer offseason. So it wasn't a complete blindside to us that, December 22nd, because the Christmas Day game is always something that we aim for. So we were just getting more hope that we'd have more time. But if it doesn't happen that way, we have more time, so be it. We'll figure it out. But it's not a complete blindside. It was always out there, up in the air, before the bubble even started.
There was a recent report that came out that said the NBA only lost about 10% of revenue thanks to having the bubble season, the bubble continuation of the season.
Big shout out to NBPA, NBA, our fans, people tuning in and watching us, made that happen.
For sure. I think one of the complications with the December 22nd start of the season. I assume that it won't be in a bubble, it'll be in arenas with limited amount of fans. How do you mentally approach games with back in the arena, but with fans, even though it might be, it's
going to be
let's keep it real. It's a crazy world we're living in right now. So I don't know how you evolve it, because you have to be a public figure in some way, shape, or form.
It's one that's hard to believe that what we're living in, but we adapt and adjust to it as best we can. Unfortunately, we had to play in a bubble, but now we know what we're dealing with and we're prepared for it if we have to do it again. We hope that we don't have to. We hope to go back to normal. We want our fans there. We want to play back in front of people. So that would be amazing, but we're going to do it the safest, healthiest way possible. But so if we go back to normal, it might be a little bit of adjustment, but more easier for us to adjust because it's something we've been doing for most of our lives than going back to a bubble situation. If we do have to do bubbles around the country, more than one, we'll do it. It's not ideal. But we're prepared for it. We know what we're going into. It's gonna suck again. I mean, we might not like it, but hopefully we have some stipulations where we get our family there sooner, or coaches have their families, or make it easier. We had the safest place in the world to be and play when we were making it happen. So I'm sure they'll figure something out, but it would be nice to go back to normal. But if we can't, we'll figure it out and adapt and adjust and continue to play basketball.
Another thing that the media does, and I know you spoke about the quote that you had that was kind of expounded upon, maybe not in the manner that you would have liked it to. Trade rumors, they happen.
All the time.
How do you just won a title in a hectic, historic season. You guys come back as is, title favorites again, but because of the contract that you signed for when you came here, there's going to be rumors. I think you probably were aware of that when you signed it, right?
Sure.
Just the structure of your deal. How do you manage that?
It's not the first time I've heard it. It won't be the last time. I remember the first time I've heard a trade rumor, I was in San Antonio. It might have been like my second or third year. And, like, oh, they're talking about trade rumors with you. And you must have made it at this point. So it's been, almost 10 years now of me hearing about trade rumors. But, you ignore the noise. If it happens, it happens. RP is a respectful guy. I'm sure he'll give me a call. I understand the nature of the business. Everybody is going to get better. Everybody's looking to make moves and get better. So we need to do that as well. Hopefully that part of that process is still keeping me here. I think we bring everybody back and we do what we did this year, and hopefully not in a bubble, but I think the group that we have is special, and I think we can still make something special happen regardless of what moves are made outside of us, or what teams get better or healthier. Obviously Golden State's gonna be healthier, Brooklyn's gonna be healthier, teams gonna make some moves. I still believe we have the talent with the pieces that we have now. It's gonna be hard to bring back all 10 free agents, but if we bring back the majority with the nucleus that we have now, with the guys on the roster, I still believe we have a special team to do something, great.
With the league potentially starting December 22nd, it would seem as if having a lot of guys who are quality players, like essentially bringing back the roster, would be a very beneficial thing to do, because you don't want to overexert guys in the regular season. I feel as if that's probably a smart thing to do from a health standpoint of the team.
Considering this is a short turnaround, we're getting right into it. There's not much time for guys to learn the system. So you have new guys and free agents, draft, people. They're jumping right into the fire. So the time that we start up, they would normally be having summer league or something like that, or guys would be moving into their houses. We're probably gonna have a short preseason. We're probably having a short few game scrimmages that we have and jump right into it. So it's gonna be tougher for teams that make big moves or guys that pick up free agents to adapt and adjust and roll into a new system or a new organization with such a quick turnaround. And we said because of our minds and bodies of having such a long year, there's a lot of variables that come into play when it comes to the start of the season with a quick turnaround and bringing in free agents or new agents or new free agents or draft prospects. So yeah, we're trying to. I think the best way to monitor it, or better for us, if we try to keep the same group together instead of trying to bring in new faces and things of that nature. But it's above my pay grade.
Yep.
I don't make those decisions. I trust what they do. RP and those guys. I know they make great movements. He should have been executive of the year once again. But yeah, he's done an amazing job this last summer. I'm sure he'll do an amazing job this fall or winter figuring it out.
When we come back, we'll have Rob Pelinka, but then after that, I do want to touch on the Western Conference because it's stacked, especially with the Warriors coming back. And then I know earlier today you stopped and had a visit with NBA 2K.
Yeah.
I want to know about that.
Big shout out to Ronnie.
We'll save it for the last segment, but we'll be right back with more Inside the Green Room with that guy, 3-time champion Danny Green. eventually he'll say it.
Coming up next on Inside the Green Room.
I mean, LA's title town, right? With what the Dodgers did last night, with what we were able to do. So there's gonna be a lot of cool LA t-shirts with the Lakers and the Dodgers, man. I can't wait to start a little collection of my own.
Indeed.
What's up, everybody? It's Danny Green here, back with more Inside the Green Room. My co-host, Harrison Sanford, and we were lucky enough to be brought in by this one and only Rob Pelinka, the guy who helped me a lot throughout the bubble with his RP contest, because he would get out on the court, make sure we get our shots up, but also he'd be contesting them and make sure we got some defense with us. So thank you, RP, for joining us, man, today. Time, I know you have a hectic schedule, man, but I appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us, chat with us, and give the fans insight from your perspective, your lens of the inside the bubble type of atmosphere.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys having me, HDG. And, you know, it's interesting. You know, our culture at the Lakers, there's no job too small or too big for a player, for an executive, for a trainer, for a coach. And as a former shooter, I just know that guys that get looks in the games rarely get a wide open, uncontested look. So it was fun with KCP and Danny, our two, you know, starters that were our snipers. Just in the bubble, we got nothing but time, nothing but, you know, the gym was kind of an escape for all of us in some sense. So it was fun to get out there and try to get a hand up. Although, Danny, the thing I learned about you is, you know, some guys shoot the three maybe like 2-3 inches off the ground. You actually elevate, and at 6'7", your shooting window is high. That you know, that was a challenge for me to get up there and contest your shot.
Well, you were doing it, man. I was shocked that you were getting off the floor. You can test. I was like, oh, RP got some defense in him. You know, he's actually playing some pretty good defense. But let's talk about something outside of, since winning the title, what has been the best moment since you've left the bubble or outside of the bubble? Or you know, since leaving the bubble, what has been the best moment for you since winning the title?
It's real life stuff, and I'm sure you felt that way too. For me, I remember being reunited with my 10-year-old daughter, Emery. Thankfully, she was able to come to sit in the upper stand, so live outside of the bubble, but watch the closing game. And so I got reunited with her after the game, and she ran. I was on walking down that dock on the lake to a restaurant called Three Bridges that was at our hotel. Man, she came running down that thing like a scene out of a movie. And it felt like it was slow motion to me, but when she grabbed my neck, I felt like she wasn't going to let go. She had tears in her eyes, and I literally will never forget that moment of 100 days not being able to see my daughter. And then my son and wife came too. So that was a big one. And then DG, I know you got two dogs that you love. We have a 1-year-old pup, and when you're in a hotel for 100 days, you don't see animals. So it's kind of like weird to get accustomed to being in your house. You're like, what's this thing walking around? Like when I was in my hotel room, there was nothing but dust balls, you know?
Yeah.
But seeing my dog for the first time was a trip when we got back to Newport Beach. So just real life stuff, man. Real life stuff.
Definitely, man. Those moments were special. It was special to see too. I remember my first time seeing Coach, be able to see his family, when the bubble bursted. They were outside the bubble experience, able to come down and celebrate us at Three Bridges. And I seen him for the first time, see his daughters, you know, and his wife, and other coaches see their families, because you guys weren't allowed to have people, which was ridiculous for the whole duration of it. But to see the moments of them running to each other and at the bridge and, you know, hugging for so long. It was cool. Special to see. It was really cool, man, and I was just so happy that people were able to see their families again, which is crazy. We're playing a sport and, you know, sacrificing that time with our families, but it was all worth it, and you got a chance to celebrate with your family, so it was a lot of fun.
I've noticed how Danny's energy has been different since he's come back. Like Danny's, Rob, you know, Danny's a little laid back, but now that I've talked to him, now that he's out the bubble, I can feel the energy when we're just hanging out. I can feel the energy when we're doing the show. It's evident. And now we're getting right back into the season. It seems that's been reported at least. Rob, how are you managing the expectations of a December 22nd potential start of the season from the NBA draft standpoint, free agency standpoint, from the standpoint of managing the team and making sure the bodies are right for another grueling season potentially? How are you managing all that coming off of winning a championship?
Yeah, I think, you know, as everybody knows right now, the the league, Adam Silver and his team, and Michelle Roberts at the union. Of course, they're in discussions and negotiations about what next season will look like. And I think we all have a lot of trust in the ability of the partnership between the players union and the NBA to work something out that works for everybody. And nothing's been officially announced or provided at this point, so a lot of it's just speculation. But someone said to me, actually, when I got home, they said, you know, if you and the players and the coaches, if you don't truly like savor this and appreciate it and approach this with gratitude, man, like you need to get a different job because it's rare. I mean, it's rare. DG's been to the mountaintop 3 times, which is amazing. Some players and Hall of Fame players never even get a chance to go to the top of the mountain. So there's part of that, just embracing the moment and the now. But I think my DNA was forged in always getting lost in the work. I know that's Danny's mentality too, and so it's sort of a balance between allowing yourself to cherish the moment, and for me, that's just hard. My motivation for hard work comes from like, what can I do to help others or give to others, and seeing Jeannie Buss be the first female governor to win a title. Obviously, our captains, LeBron, LJ, all the guys on the team, being able to get a title for them. And then just with everything we went through in 2020, you know, with the tragedy of January 26th and losing Kobe and Gigi, just being able to bring a spark of hope in the midst of dark times and hard losses. So that's where my focus is in terms of the championship, but also with an eye to the future. We gotta be right back at it, and we got challenges to repeat as a team. So I'm getting lost in the work already too.
For sure. And does that ruin kind of your off season or your celebration of winning a title? Having all those things happen, trying to prepare for that, and because there might be a quick turnaround, is it really hard to celebrate or relax and enjoy the off season?
You know, DJ, I've been around you as a leader, and you're an optimist. You always find the good in things, and I guess that's my approach too. So it's hard for me to count losses when it would be easy to sit back and think about all the hard things that are going on, but it's also, I think, important just to have that lens of thankfulness. You know, we're coming up on November and Thanksgiving, and it's really a miracle. I think in March, when the season came to a halt with the COVID cases in the OKC Utah game, I don't think any of us thought there would be an end to this season, and we knew we had a great team. So part of me thinks it's just a miracle of all the hard work that the NBA and Union did to build the platform where we could go down to Orlando and we could end as champs. So that's a gift. So definitely, you know, celebrating that, and then not trying to get caught up in frustration, like, oh, we got to start again soon, because that's probably what human nature would want you to do. But you got to catch yourself and be like, man, let's be grateful for what we have instead of thinking about what we don't, you know?
Rob, you alluded to trying to come back as champions. As a general manager of the team and executive, you're aware of the sentiment that the fan base has towards certain players. I think of Rajon Rondo and how the fan base was really hard on him. I think about KCP throughout his entirety of his stay here until this most recent year. While being in the bubble, seeing the guys up close and kind of seeing how they work, did you have any perceptions that were either changed of some of the guys or the team in general, or did you have any stances that were maybe emboldened by being there and being hands-on with the team?
We built this team purposely from the last off season, and we built it around guys that played with high IQ, a high level of character, that really sacrificed for the team. And I think that fortitude and that DNA carried us. I think, in terms of popularity, that's such a fickle thing, whether it's for a political figure, whether it's for a professional athlete, whether it's for a coach or a front office executive. I remember at the beginning of the job, one of the tips Kobe gave me, he was like, listen, man, in LA especially, where all the attention is focused on the Lakers, he said, you're going to have times where in great success, they're going to praise you, and then you're going to have times, if you lose, where they're going to criticize you. He said, don't get caught up in either, because if you get caught up in the praise, then you get big-headed and prideful and you lose your focus. Same time, if you get caught up in the criticism, then you start doubting yourself, and then you hang your head and you don't perform. So I think it's really important not to get caught up in, what people think of this player or that player, but really just to believe in what you've built. And I think our ability as an organization, and I think Danny would attest to this, is in the bubble, there was a lot of crazy stuff that came up for players. I mean, life continues to happen. Challenges are still there. But we had the ability to partner with the guys to get through anything they faced. You know, you look at Doe, you mentioned Rondo, like before he gets in the bubble, he has a friend that passes away. We had to journey from COVID. So we had to journey with him through that. Then he gets in the bubble and he's playing and he breaks his hand. So he's got to leave the bubble and then come back in and quarantine and rehab and have surgery. There's a lot of complicated things around that we had to partner with him and handle the right way as an organization. Then boom, he hurts his back in the bubble. So we had to deal. There were so many points along the way where a player might just say, gosh, if this organization doesn't have my support, then why am I here? And I think the Lakers and our players, we just stuck together. We rode through those trials, and I think it's what helped us to be so strong, to end up on top.
Definitely, I have to agree. I mean, they were with us every step of the way, good, bad, ugly, and it got ugly at times, but RP was there all the time, our training staff. I have to give kudos to them, 100% on top of everything that we needed, mentally, emotionally, physically. They made sure they got everything we needed, and that's what helped a lot of our guys through. Even before getting into the bubble, I know Avery opted out, but Dwight was going through some stuff. We were calling him, They were calling him. Everybody was in touch with everybody during the pandemic, making sure everybody was good. So before the bubble, even during the bubble, and after the bubble, still checking in, making sure everybody's good. So top-notch organization, man. I love being a part of it and hope to continue to be a part of it for some years to come.
Hey, Rob, I know you got to go here. I've been having conversations with Danny over the past day or so. He's rocking this T-shirt, but I'm hearing there's like limited supply for friends and family of all the Lakers gear. What's going on?
We haven't gotten our fair share of championship
you know what's
T-shirts
funny?
yet.
Being in the bubble with Danny, like all the swag somehow ends up at his front door of his hotel room.
That's the case, Danny?
You're barking up the wrong tree.
I hand it out to everybody else.
Like, hey man, like all of a sudden we got these beepers that were speakers because DG got the hookup.
Shout out to Trader Truth. The bump box. He had the bump box, the beepers for us. But that was the stuff I was handing out in the bubble. But the championship stuff, I was telling him the championship stuff, the T-shirts, hats, because we were looking at Dick's last night trying to get some Dodgers stuff. Today we know it's going to be gone right away. And he was asking about the Lakers championship stuff. I'm like, we haven't gotten our shipment yet for our families and friends yet. But when I do get it, I will make sure Harrison gets a hat and a T-shirt.
I'm just saying. I got a year long of podcasts, so that's great. But I mean,
LA's title town, right? With what the Dodgers did last night, with what we were able to do. So there's going to be a lot of cool LA T-shirts with the Lakers and the Dodgers, man. I can't wait to start a little collection of my own.
Yeah.
Indeed, Danny. I know Rob's got to go. So any last words?
No, man. Thanks for making the time. Appreciate you jumping on the show, man. Continue to, do what you do, man, because it's helped me a ton. I know whoever we bring in, I know you're going to make everything happen this offseason. We're going to come back even stronger next year, this past year, and we have a really good shot at doing so. But thanks for taking the time, man. Good luck with the calls. I guess keep me updated what you hear. Hopefully we don't have that quick turnaround, but if we do, I will be there for work. We'll show up for work, even though people take everything out of context. But thank you, RP, for joining us today, man. It's been amazing.
Yeah, man. Hey, I've listened to your guys' show all year. Always insightful, thoughtful. I like that you guys, dive a little deeper into stuff. So keep doing your thing. Danny, I know you've got so many skills, and this is just another one, so it's fun to experience it. You guys be good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
too,
Rob.
man.
Appreciate it.
All right, see ya. Yep.
Coming up next on Inside the Green Room.
Shaquille O'Neal. He's had his beef with Dwight Howard, and Dwight has been very good for the team this year. Shaq didn't call him by name, but I think every Lakers fan knows that Shaq was referring to Dwight. How did you take that?
I was kind of torn, man, because they're both my teammates. They're both my brothers.
We're back with more Inside the Green Room with three-time champion Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Rob Pelinka. We'll be coming back throughout the course of the offseason. We just might have a Dodger talk with us now that they are World Series champions. You have to wait on that. But I do want to go back to the Lakers, and I do want to mention something that happened recently with the team. One of the best players to play for the franchise, Shaquille O'Neal, he's had his beef with Dwight Howard, and Dwight has been very good for the team this year, not just on the floor, but accepting his role. We saw in the Rockets series, barely played, comes in the Nuggets series, all of a sudden he's locking down Jokic. And I know for you, as somebody who played with Shaq, your rookie season was in Cleveland with Shaquille, and Shaq didn't call him by name, but I think every Lakers fan knows that Shaq was referring to Dwight. How did you take that?
I was kind of torn, man, because they're both my teammates. They're both my brothers. Obviously, I was young when I was with Shaq. It was 1 year, and I've been throughout the league playing against Dwight for so many years and got a bond with him this year, and he's very close. And Shaq doesn't like to hear it, but I think he was wrong in that sense. This guy has never picked at you. He's never tried to challenge you. He's not coming for you. So to take away, his happiness, his joy, I think we're wrong. So it doesn't matter whether you're a starter or not. Everybody knows when you win the championship, every piece matters, even the guys that don't play, because they're in practice, they're in film, they're the ones helping us behind the scenes. Jared Dudley was just as important as any guy that was on that floor for us. Quinn Cook, because of what they see in film, because of what they're pointing out, how to attack certain things, but also preparing us for the games, let alone a Dwight Howard who's playing for us. He started for us, was a big factor for us all year. And big shout out to our bigs, JaVale and Dwight, because they were amazing all year. They were amazing because the fact they accepted their role and knew that some games I'm about to play 6 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and regardless if they played a minute or not, they were on that sideline as if they were starters and they were the all-stars of the team. And they had brought the energy every night, that focus, the same mentality, as if they were AD or Bron. And they were as happy as anybody could be, as if they were getting the ball every night, like an all-star. So big shout out to them for accepting their roles. Big shout out to them for being an important piece to everything we did. Dwight was a major piece. He may not have played a lot in the finals, but that doesn't matter. So he was a big part to everything we did and us getting through that process, getting to the final stage and winning. And Shaq said has a bunch of championships, and Dwight's not coming for Shaq, so I don't know why the jab or the cheap shot. Just let him be happy. Let him. He won a first title, and enjoy it. It took him 16 years. Some guys have been fortunate enough to win as many as Shaq. Most guys have not been as fortunate as Shaq. Obviously, he's great, but to be on teams where you're able, even some greats have been on great teams and not won championships or been to the finals. So, let him enjoy his championship. He was a big part of our success. I think we need to, as people, start to look at the positives. We're so quick to look at the negatives and criticizing people. I challenge everybody to do the opposite, because the world would be a lot better place. We'd be a lot happier people. And we'd have, a lot of these things going on outside of the court and the fields of injustices. Less of that would be happening if we all approach, things that way.
Speaking of which, I know that you'll be voting soon.
Yeah.
And so I know the Spectrum cameras will be following you while you do that. Have you voted before?
I did. I voted for Obama a couple times.
Okay.
And then I voted again for him.
Did you vote in 2016?
I don't know if I did.
So you did not.
I didn't.
It's fine. Hey, transparency is the best way to be.
They got to check my IG, man, because I know I posted a picture with Blair. We put vote on.
Okay, so you might have.
I might have. I'm usually pretty good with it, man. I voted every chance that I got an opportunity to vote. I went out to vote.
Okay, so how's that going to feel to go to Staples Center and cast your ballot in light of where we are in terms of social unrest, political unrest? And again, I'm not telling anybody what their politics should be.
For sure.
But you're casting your vote because it's your opinion.
Definitely.
How does it feel to be empowered to do that in light of everything that's happened? It's more tumultuous than our parents have ever seen.
For sure. Each time I go to vote, instead, look, I've been fortunate enough to do it more than once. You always go in with a lot of positivity and a lot of hopefulness, and a lot of you see the potential of what can happen. And you go in with a clear mind but a great attitude, and it's going to be the same. And I'm sure I'm going to see a lot of faces out there, a lot of people voting, hoping they're voting, I guess, in my direction, or voting for a change for the better. So yeah, you go in with that mindset, you go in with that hopefulness, and you hope things, when you get the results back, that it goes the way that you voted. And if it doesn't, then you kind of lose a little bit. You're more disappointed, probably lose out on some hope, but you got to keep fighting. But you go in with that, that approach, that attitude, that energy, and this is the start of a new generation. This is the start of a new country, or a new place where we can, hopefully get some change and get some equality. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to have my group with me, have my people out there, and hopefully bring more people out there and urge everyone else to go out and vote. And I'm excited to see what the results are, and hopefully they're in the favor that we all voted for. Coming up next on Inside the Green Room.
How are your conversations with LeBron when it comes to off the field things, such as this more than a vote campaign?
And that's what makes him amazing, man. It makes him the greatest. That's why anybody that's come across his path, anybody that's been a teammate with him, and you see why so many guys defend him. What's up, Rock Nation families? Danny Green here in the building. I'm out here today, about to go out and vote. You guys get the first look inside or behind the scenes. We're heading downtown. We're going to the Staples Center. But we've been pushing this narrative the whole time we were in the bubble. Finally, the day is here. It's the start of, hopefully making change. I've been lucky, I've been fortunate, I've been very blessed to be in certain positions I'm in. And one of them being this, to be able to use my voice and platform to let people know to vote, and also to get an opportunity to vote, to have a voice. To be able to come back to Staples Center is huge, or just, gonna be weird for me, but a great feeling to be able to return back there and kind of, be in that building again. Anybody that around me, I try to encourage to vote. So if I can encourage at least 10 of my friends, everybody do the same, we have the whole world voting, hopefully.
Your souvenir for voting with us.
Thank you. P is in Paul.
Keep it, do me a favor and confirm the information on the screen. That's the top first.
Okay.
He's good.
Can I get a sticker saying I voted? You know your boy voted. I feel great about it, man. I feel like I did, not just using words, but I'm taking action, doing my part. But it was an amazing experience. Had a lot of fun. They made it easy for me. I didn't have to wait too long. So I said, urge everybody to come down here. It doesn't look like it's packed house. Should be in and out. And I said, a great experience.
The interesting thing that I look at with this voting term right now, we're seeing record numbers of early voting. A lot of that is COVID induced because people want to get it, don't want to be there on actual election day because it might be too long. And we're also seeing people mail in their votes as well. Did you think about mailing in your vote, or is there something to going to Staples Center?
I've thought about it a bunch of times, every time I've done it, but I think it's something about going there and showing up and actually doing it. It's a better experience for me, and I think it makes me feel, I wouldn't say I'm old school, but I like to be, you know what I'm saying? I don't trust some certain things. I think I felt more, trustworthy in making sure that I get there to a poll and vote instead of mailing it. I'll never know with mail certain things may happen. But yeah, I think there's something to it of actually showing up and going and being at a poll and voting, and the experience is just a lot better. You feel better about yourself doing that than actually, I think. I would never mail it in, but I couldn't imagine it being the same as going to a poll.
Kind of like putting something in the cloud and hoping it lands sometime.
Yeah, I don't trust the cloud either.
We have seen some reports where people are getting back their ballots saying that their signature does not match the signature that's on file. So yes, if you can do it safe, obviously going to a voting or polling center is the way to do it. And that brings me to LeBron. He's been very steadfast in his more than a vote campaign and doing things that he believes are right for the American culture of American people. How are your conversations with LeBron when it comes to off the field things, off the field matters of nature, such as this more than a vote campaign? And what have you seen? Because what have you seen from him that lets you know that this is a part of his fabric?
And that's what makes him amazing, man. It makes him greatest. That's why anybody that's come across his path, anybody that's been a teammate with him, and you see why so many guys defend him, because he treats you with so much respect, like a normal person. He engages in every conversation. He understands. He has a high IQ and a great memory. He'll remember your family members that he hadn't seen. Like Shaq went up to my brother, and he's like, "It's been a long time. He hasn't seen Shaq probably since Cleveland. That was 10 years
ago." Oh,
wow. So he'll remember, his memory is unbelievable. But the fact that he shows so much love and respect for his teammates, and also tries to do so much for our community and for our people and show up, it makes it easier for us to fight for him and defend him. So yeah, my conversations with him have always been easy, they've always been great. Whenever we do have conversations, he always gives me feedback, he always respects what I have to say and what my perspective is. But him just going out and doing this, sitting down with Obama's special, but just telling people to vote, having a campaign, and urging this just shows you that he has a great group around him. He has his head on right. He has a good head on his shoulders, and he's not just a basketball player. He's amazing at what he does, and everything he touches turns to gold. And there's a reason why, because he's such a good person. He's a great person all around. And said I commend him for it. We're all trying to be like it. I'm inspired by it. And hopefully one day I can be like him one day. You never know.
That's gonna take another.
It'll take some time, man. I'll give it to 50.
Yeah. With that being said, now I'm gonna have a little fun with it now. Okay. Bron ever hit you up? Like, hey, DG, don't be telling these people I'm not coming to the gym for the first.
He'd probably be like, you're right now. He'd be like, you know me well. Nah, he's never hit me up about social media stuff. He knows how it goes, and I'm sure he probably, if he got wind of it, he probably would do his homework like the other guys should have done. Probably seen the tone of it, the context of it.
Yeah.
And he probably saw that I was joking. But at the same time, he's never hit me about media stuff. He don't care about it, and he knows I don't care for it.
Yeah.
We don't take it seriously. But at the same time, he probably knows I know him well.
Yeah.
He'd be like, stop, leaking my secrets to the media. But we just mess around, man. And he's never hit me about it. But yeah, he would do his homework and see the context of it. If he didn't do it, he'd probably hit me like, yo, what happened with this? And I'd be like, yo, this is what happened. We chopped it about stuff all the time, but he doesn't take it serious or take offense to it. Coming up next on Inside the Green Room, teams are making moves to get better to try to beat us, and it's always harder after winning a championship the second year because you have an even bigger target on your chest. Everybody wants to beat the champions. In my younger days, I would say, you know what, I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be fun.
Every team in the Western Conference has a legitimate chance to get to the playoffs as the top dogs in the West and a bunch of 13 to 14 hungry teams. How do you evaluate that?
Man, it's that when you go down the line of so many teams and they're only getting better, healthier. Portland's getting healthier. Golden State's getting healthier. Teams are making the moves to get better to try to beat us. And it's always harder after winning a championship the second year because you have an even bigger target on your chest. Everybody wants to beat the champions. In my younger days, I would say, you know what, I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be fun. As I've gotten older, I'm still looking forward to it, having fun, but I'm like, it's gonna be a long year.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a quick turnaround. I'm saying I gotta get my body right and my mind right, night in, night out. Even you mentioned the Kings, even the teams at the bottom, we're gonna get their best shot. They're gonna play a great game and play above themselves because they're playing a championship team. So yeah, when you look up and down that West Conference, those teams, the Clips gonna make some moves, Dallas is gonna make some moves, but they're already good. Houston's gonna make some moves, but they're already good. He said Portland, Denver is going to be good. They're still young, up and coming.
I'm sure we're even forgetting some teams off the top of our head.
For sure. Night in, night out, it's going to be a dogfight.
Pelicans.
But we're looking forward to that. That's what you play in this league for. You play for those stages. You want to play against the best competition at the highest level and get their best shot. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but I got to get my body ready for it. Speaking
of which, and now you're taking me to another topic that I want to discuss. Mm-hmm. I think people appreciate this show because you're transparent. Like when you were going through hard times in the bubble, you're transparent about that.
I have nothing to hide.
And so if you have an injury, you want to be transparent about it. That's just the nature of what we do here.
For sure.
But at the same time, you don't want the public perception to be, oh, he was hurt and now he's making an excuse for why he might have missed this shot or not played well in this game or played well in this series, X, Y, Z. How do you balance that? Because there's a validity to just being upfront about everything that's happening, but you don't want to come across like you're using it as a scapegoat for however you might play, whether it's poor or not.
Well, it depends on your persona. It depends on your, I'm the type of guy, you don't need to balance it if you don't share it. I don't like to share if there's injuries happening. First, one, I don't want my opponent to know that I'm injured. Two, I don't want or need any excuses for what happens out there. If I decide to play, I'm healthy. I'm healthy enough to play playing. So everybody has bumps and bruises. I said this before. We all have bumps and bruises, some more than others. But if you're out there on the floor, it doesn't matter. I'm not using an excuse. So I don't have to balance it. I'm just not going to share it. Some other guys may like to share that they have. But I have a number of things. We all have a number of things that we could share. I don't know how you play doing that. And that's just not just me. There's many guys on our team that had issues, body issues, health, physical issues, some more than others. But if you're out there on the floor, it doesn't matter. I'm not using an excuse. I don't have to balance. I'm just not going to share it. We're competitors, and we want to win. We want to be on that floor. We want to give our team a chance, any chance they can to win, and that's with all of us being healthy and on the floor, regardless if we're hurt or not. A hurt us is better than no us. So I don't like to share when I have bumps, bruises, or issues body-wise or health-wise. So we don't have to balance. But some guys will tell you. But there's a long list of things that we all could tell you on our team that we had going on. I'm sure every other team the same. The best way to balance is to not share it. For me, anyway.
Can you give us a snapshot of what maybe you're doing right now to get ready for the season in terms of doing any like?
Absolutely nothing right now.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but I will get back in the gym soon. I'm starting doing some body stuff, some training, strengthening tendons, muscles, that type of thing. Some shooting, some light shooting to start. Duds hit me today, actually. I was like, are you in the gym yet already? I was like, nah, but next week I'll probably start doing some light stuff. I'm not the type of guy that gains a bunch of weight and gets crazy out of shape, so I'm fortunate in that sense where, my genes are pretty good, so I don't have to do, crazy working out, watch my diet, but I will do some little stuff here and there, and I'll get the body ready for when training camp starts.
Where are you going before training camp starts?
Probably do a family trip for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Not gonna tell you. Not gonna tell the people. You'll see it when you see it if I do post it or show it. But
yeah,
probably do one family trip, and I don't know if I have time to do anything else. Trying to cramp everything in within a month and a half. The event in Dallas. Big shout out to my guy Aaron Duncan. The battle.
Yeah. So Danny and one of his childhood friends putting together a high school basketball tournament. They've been doing it now. This is year 3.
Yes.
This is year 3. LeBron James' son is actually going to be playing
Imani Bates.
Against Imani Bates, one of the top high school basketball players. I think he's a top player in the country as a junior now. He was a top player in the country as a sophomore. How cool, I'm assuming there was some collaboration between you and Bron?
No,
hey, Bron, I want your son to play in my high school tournament. How'd that go?
During the pandemic, I was able to sneak into Sierra Canyon a bit to get a workout or two.
Is that exclusive information? Are we gonna have to edit that out?
Seen Bronny there, seen the coach there, and I went to a couple of their games this year.
Yeah.
I haven't actually talked to Bron directly about it, but I'm sure he knows about it. He's probably gonna be there if he has nothing going on. He's a big supporter of his son. But now that it's actually officially announced, I'll probably be able to talk it up a little bit, see where his head's at, see what ideas he might have. Also, see what eye of a talent, what he has for a talent, I guess, in high schoolers and who he thinks will win the game. Obviously, he's going to root for his son.
Yeah.
But I wonder what he thinks about the other team and Imani. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a huge basketball. It's going to be good. It's going to be a big event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, since everything has shut down, it's been a while since college and high school has been able to play. But this is one of the biggest high school, events that has come since the pandemic. So it'll be hopefully a good turnout.
Good for the kids to have an opportunity to play against each other. I mean, I know you're somebody who greatly benefited from summer camps and things of that nature.
For sure.
And so for them to have lost the whole summer of getting exposure to potentially end up like a school like North Carolina or end up like a school like Duke.
Especially those guys that are not the big names.
Yeah.
I was never the big name, but you show up to a type of event, those guys outside of Lil Bronny and Imani, is their chance to actually get recruited and be seen by other coaches. You might have a standout that you never know a guy had game, but this is the type of games where, that big stage, the big time players come and show up. So we'll see who else outside of those guys show up and actually make a name for themselves.
Cool. I think we're good here. Again, we'll be back potentially with the Dodger. If not, we'll be back at some point, maybe before the start of the regular season again, which could be coming up soon. Danny, just do me a favor.
Read, rate, subscribe, review.
Yeah, that's part of it. And then also too, I would like next time I see you, if I can get some Lakers gear, that'd be nice.
I'll work on that, man.
And I like to reserve a part.
Checks in the mail.
I like to reserve when this is all over. I'd like to reserve like a seat on the float, please.
On the floor. Oh, if we do a parade, hopefully it'll be a Dodgers-Lakers parade. It'd be nice, man.
That'd be cool. That would potentially top last year's parade in Toronto because last year's parade was 5 hours, which was nice, which is kind of cool for me at least. I don't know about for you.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But to see the whole city out for a parade, it's going to take some time. But that'd be nice to see.
Hopefully, man.
Any last words? You want to tell them to go vote or anything like that?
Yes, I urge you to go vote. Please get out, get off your couches, get off your butt, get to the polls, or if you have to do it by mail, please get out and vote. But outside of that, read, rate, subscribe, review.
Nothing else, man.
Check out the show. Please appreciate your time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. And we hope to see you guys soon.